Stop recording button. Double tap to activate.
Hello, my name is Kenyon Parker, and I wanted to make this video explaining or shedding some light on how I became blind. And I'm asking everyone to please share and like this video. Okay, I have a YouTube channel and I do my best to add content to it. So if you haven't seen me upload a cooking video in a while, this is the reason why as well. I went blind in the Bexar County jail, and it all started December 17th, or really December the 14th, 2017. I was being robbed and assaulted, and I had to defend myself. Well, I ended up calling the police, and the police arrested me, putting handcuffs on me, the whole shebang. I didn't hide anything from the police. While the other person went to the hospital, I went to jail. Though you couldn't see my injuries because they were internal. And so December 20th, I put in the sick call to the nurse saying that I was seeing blood in my eyes. And I was told that, well, after telling them my medical history, they said I had to go see an ophthalmologist, and there was 40 people ahead of me. This is the start of what I didn't know anything about the jail. I've never been in jail before, but oh wow, that thing is going off back there. I was sent back to my cell, and it took the Bexar County Jail 3 months and a half. I was waiting, and I noticed that I was unable to read the good news. This book of the New Testaments, upon falling asleep on its pages, I woke up and could not see the words. I put in so many sick calls and grievances. Every time I went down to take my medication, I asked the nurses down there, well, do you have any update on me going to see the ophthalmologist? And no one knew anything. No one had any clue of any appointments, and finally they called me, and I went to the ophthalmologist. I went to I think it was the Eye Institute, UTSA or something like that, in San Antonio. And the doctor tells me that you have 7 days to reattach your retina before it starts to die off, and that I would lose my right eye. And my right eye was actually just like my left eye, but I was assaulted in jail by another inmate that had got some bad news when they went to court and came back, and I guess they was ready to blow their top because they was very emotional. And you know how things can get in a confined space. So I was hit in the upper part of my right eye, like right here. But when the doctor told me, he said that my cornea was like hanging on by a little bit of tissue. And they did some laser in my eye, my left eye, and sent me back to jail. What happened in the elevator, the police officer went into my packet that they handed me, and he took out some files, and then he handed me the rest of them. I didn't question any of this. I didn't question anything. So I go back to my cell, and I am waiting another 3 months to have this surgery done. Over there, he told me about the bubbles, the gas and the liquid bubbles and stuff, and how many days I would have to stay in a position so that the retinas would attach themselves. I had no complications with my diabetes or anything. My blood sugars were under control. I was going down 3 times a day to take my medication. There was no hope in that place, and I was slowly going blind. I put in so many grievances, and I still have grievances and sick calls, and I was ignored. And it seems like no one knew what was going on in that place. I got out with help from another inmate. God bless this man. He would always be at the front of the line when it came down to law library, and he helped me to fill out the forms to have a get out on a medical bond. It was very difficult when I would go, because I would have to use a magnifying glass, or at the time I could still use a magnifying glass or something to help me to read or look up cases or something. Very, very difficult as time progressed. So finally they called me, the judge called me, took me on the bus to the courthouse, and the judge asked his secretary to call the jail and see if there was any plans for a surgery, and she did, and they told her that they didn't have any knowledge of a surgery that was supposed to be done. So that is how I got approved for the medical bond, and they put a half restriction on me. So I had an ankle monitor, and I was brought to like this halfway building, and even there, that was like my first time being used and discriminated against, because for some reason those people knew that I was a special case, a disabled person, so they put me in the room they had acquired for people with disabilities. And then all of a sudden they felt like it was a liability to have me there. I went to my eye doctor, and they said that it was inoperable to fix due to the length of time that my retinas were detached. And all of the words I remember him saying, this is going to be a hard pill to swallow. And of course, while I was dealing with that, I was still going to my court appointments. It was so hard for the DA, my lawyer, court-appointed attorney, told me that it was hard for them to reach the guy because he would be ignoring the DA's phone calls and not wanting to be bothered. And of course, the DA might have told him, that he could win the case, encouraging him to stand trial. He knew that he was in the wrong. And so we were going to court and stuff, and there was no witnesses to any of this. The person that I had to defend myself from said that I assaulted him on the sidewalk leading up to the driveway of the apartments where I lived, and he lived in the apartment complex next to my apartment complex. Not the same apartment complex, but one that was separated only by a wooden fence. And I have talked to this guy several times. We even hung out several times, and I met him at the convenience store across the street. That is how I knew him, but I didn't know him. He didn't have a job, and that night I was fed up with the guy. He showed no will to get a job, and it was just coming over. We played video games, and it would be a point to where I was running out of food and money. So I decided, after hearing him say some things about his father and not wanting to get a job, he had a job interview at Taco Bell, and one of his friends, which was homeless, came to him and said, "Hey, the manager's cool. We're gonna both get a job." He didn't show up, so I was done with it. And he was mad, and he assaulted me and went into my pocket and stole my wallet. In court, this guy had warrants for his arrest. He had been to jail for burglary and robbery, and also he was a batterer. They sent in a character witness, which was his baby mama's mother, and she told the most horrific story of this guy's personality to the jury. I did not have any police records or no involvement with the police. And the trial was such a shamble. It was like, a bunch of people getting up and stating what they did for a living. A paramedic, a police officer, all of which no one was there to witness anything. Back to what I said, he was lying about everything the entire time. He said that at one point the guy said that he could not feed himself or go to the restroom himself, and that he didn't even recognize his daughter. Wow, he did go to my Facebook page and say some derogatory things, and was on his page posting YouTube videos and pictures of his cut and saying that I should go to prison, playing the victim, seriously. And he was caught in so many lies. All this time, I am the innocent one. I thought, we have these laws to protect us. Stand your ground and castle doctrine. I was in my home, so where else would I run to? But you have a family member, and I was in San Antonio by myself. Absolutely. I was told that his father said that he seen me with a knife one day, and that we were arguing, which was not true at all. But that's blood. So they're going to say these things to any degree, no matter. You know how people are. Now, went through all of that for nothing, and I was found not guilty. My biggest thing is that I tried and I tried and I tried. I was homeless when I got out of jail and blind. And I had to get all of these things that I had lost. I lost a lot of memories, things that I held on to that belonged to my mother, who passed away on Halloween. So this video I'm making October 31st. It was really a shame. I finally got into an apartment. God put some people right in my path. I ran into an old friend at the bus stop downtown, and he took me over to where he was staying with someone, and I met him, and we became good friends, and I was able to stay in his apartment. It was a condo, and I was able to stay there until I was able to get on some kind of assistant like housing, and I got my own apartment. I was able to, try to seek legal help from Grande Legal Aid in San Antonio. And I just kept getting the runaround. And I believe it was months. And the guy finally calls me after so many messages to tell me that they were only 2 people that dealt with these type of cases, and they were unable to take my case at the time, and referred me to someone who referred me, and I just kept getting referred. And I even ran into this one lawyer who said, man, no lawyer is going to take your case. No one's going to go up against the state. And they usually will file for immunity. It's so depressing. And to this day, I am now living blind. I've run into countless of people who have deceived me, plotted and schemed, and lied to me. And I am still here. And I want to let the world know. I even went to write a letter to the White House. And I don't know if that even was looked at. I still don't know. And I still have hope. But I was scared for a long time, because when things like this happen, you realize, what rights do you have? You're a person of color, and you want to go up against someone that's bigger and has more money than you. I'm on Social Security, and I don't have money to hire a lawyer. And one of them quoted me, it's $300 away from court and $400 an hour in court. I don't have that kind of money. No one wanted to do it pro bono. And so what am I to do? About the trial, I would usually sit there when everyone is gone out and we're packing up and leaving, you see the DA and my attorney just chit-chatting, and they're all buddies and stuff, but they play this game, and this was a game with a person's life. And even the judge brought up a story about how she got someone fired at Subway for making a sandwich wrong. They played court, and it was a shamble, a mockery of the justice system. And I was the one who suffered the most. And I just need to let everyone know, it's been a while now, and with all of this election stuff going on, and 2024 special thing, like all things will be revealed, this is really giving me a little confidence to come out and do this. You see in my videos, I never show my face, but I have nothing to hide anymore. I want justice, and going blind and in a jail where it was really scary, and because I was screaming without causing a scene or having someone to come and restrain me, I wrote it on paper. I did it the right way, and I still have some of the grievances where I wrote off on the sides and all around the thing, and the sick calls. I was ignored. Maybe they didn't want to pay for that surgery or something. This is my life now. And even the person, when they found out he had all kinds of warrants and for his arrest, he would do things and just run away. They didn't arrest him. The judge gave him a court-appointed attorney to deal with those things, just because the guy, I guess he had got a job all of a sudden to look good, the image, and was lying on stand, and from the very beginning. I don't want to make this video too long, and I have so much more to say, and I want peace of mind. What a shame. What a shame. And I had no one, but if you would all please share this video and let the world know, so that it doesn't happen to someone else. That can be a test to see how this all plays out in court, to play court, and when someone's life is at stake, or their, life after the game is over. It was me writing my attorney, and he even sent me a letter, and a letter to the court, a letter to the jail, but for some reason they gave it to me, and it meant nothing. I have so much to tell, and I want to be heard now. And I know that God is with me, even though this has shaken me, and I stopped believing, and then I would believe, but I don't know. This world is so ugly and evil. I can't tell you the people I've run into who have come with a really good story, but they was not. They sounded beautiful, but they was not beautiful. And I've seen beautiful, but it was not. So I'm gonna leave it here. Again, please share the video, and this is the reason why all of you that I haven't really been putting any videos on, I can still see you're subscribed, and I really appreciate it. And I just need your help.
Stop recording button.